What's going on, Wolfpack? You're very welcome to another video here on Degenerate Watch. Thank you very much for joining me. This video is the first in a new series of weekly videos called Degenerates of the Week. In these videos we're going to be taking a look at a few different clips that I've come across the week previous, and we'll be going through those. We'll also be taking a look at any degeneracy in the news that catches my eye. And as always guys, your feedback is thoroughly appreciated, so please do leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. We're off to Colorado for our first clip guys, where a crook carrying thousands of dollars of stolen merchandise strolled right into the arms of the law after he was caught trying to use a very unconventional getaway method. The would-be burglar had been ransacking a plumbing store in the Denver suburbs 3 days after Christmas when he called an Uber driver to come and pick him up. The owner of the plumbing store had called 911 after noticing a hole cut into the business's fencing and caught surveillance footage of the thief inside. When the local Wheat Ridge police arrived on the scene, they discovered the Uber driver waiting nearby. He told police his passenger Jose was headed right towards the car.
So we got a Uber pickup for Jose.
Huh? Are you looking for an Uber?
No.
Okay.
Take care of your hands out of your pocket.
Oh yeah.
What's your name, man?
Stop.
Stop running.
No. Me good.
Stop.
Yeah,
You're matching the description of what the victim is saying. They saw
me, I gotta go for the house for my mom.
Okay.
For real, en serio.
Do you have a name? Do you have anything?
Yeah, Raúl.
Do you have an ID on you?
No, not right now.
This backpack is full of Milwaukee tools.
Por favor, en serio, escúchame una vez más, en serio. No,
vamos a hablar un poquito más allá, ¿ok?
En serio.
Ok.
Permítame, por favor.
I think our man Jose or Raul or whatever his name may actually be has definitely earned his spot in the Degenerate Watch Dumb Criminals Hall of Fame. Relying on an Uber as your getaway is the folly of the unwise criminal. Definitely an easy case for the police to crack here, and also the store owner got his merchandise back. So a great result here for the Wheat Ridge Police Department in Denver, Colorado. For our next clip, we're off to Hillsborough County in Florida. Yes, Florida, the state that never ceases to amaze. And in Hillsborough County in Florida on Christmas Eve, we very nearly had a nightmare before Christmas. And that nightmare was coming in the form of 34-year-old Eliezer Armando Reyes Rios. And this man was involved in a single vehicle crash and fled the scene. And very fortunately, no other folks got caught up in this Christmas Eve madness. So without further ado, let's get to the chopper.
Well, duh.
Looking at the train tracks, we made it about, 200 feet down before he decided to jump over the fence. I didn't continue with him, but we got a perimeter set up pretty quickly to lock him down. I think we got him in there.
Alright, we do have a subject just north of a tree. He's on the southeast corner. Looks like it's, he's in a culvert. You won't be able to see him from where you're at because it's a culvert, I just realized, but you are right across from him. Yeah, just so you all know, he's just sort of casually laying there with his arms behind his head. Definitely the short's got his right arm behind his head and his left arm down by his side at the moment. We'll let you know if he moves or anything happens with him.
I suppose he was a bit disappointed it wasn't going to be a white Christmas and he wasn't going to be able to make any snow angels, so he decided to make some mud ones instead. The fact that he's doing this and the fact that he fled from the scene of the crash makes me think that he may be intoxicated. There's a possibility he may have been a little overzealous with the mulled wine. He should be quite an easy catch for the police, as he inevitably will want to come out of there. Let's just hope he doesn't nod off in the process and have to have the police come down there after him.
He looks like he's on the phone now. In his left hand.
I wonder if he's calling for an Uber. Hi, could I get an Uber to pick me up from, that culvert in Tampa? Certainly, sir. You're not a criminal now, are you?
Alright, he's starting to move. Yeah, he's running. He just fell down. He's running towards the west.
Alright, just hold your perimeter. Let's not try to make contact. Canine's almost there.
Stand down, guys. Let's let the canine tear him to shreds. Uber driver sees him being chased down the road by the canine. No, sir. No dogs in the taxi.
He's starting to climb up and over. He's going up and over the fence. Guys, get people to the culverts. Get people out to Nebraska. Alright, he jumped over the fence.
Release the hounds.
Get on the ground. Shut up. Get on the ground or you're gonna get bit. Get on the ground or you're gonna get bit. Hey, this is your final warning. Get on the the ground or you're gonna get bit. Arms out, arms out, arms out.
He just made his wisest decision of the night there by surrendering, because the present nobody wants on Christmas Eve is a bite from a canine. Mr. Reyes Rios was charged with leaving the scene of an accident, unattended property, driving while licence cancelled, suspended or revoked, second or subsequent offence, attaching a tag not assigned, trespass on a construction site and resisting an officer without violence. And most likely, because it was late on Christmas Eve that he was getting locked up here, he probably spent Christmas Day in jail. So hopefully having a less than Merry Christmas gave him some time to reflect on his decisions. Now I know some of you out there that are watching are going to say that's absolute nonsense, we're definitely going to see this guy again, but we like to remain ever the optimist here at Degenerate Watch, no matter how naive that may be. A news story from my home county of County Wicklow caught my eye over the Christmas period, and that story involved the theft of 12 stop signs, including one at a notoriously dangerous intersection that, according to a local councillor, could have had someone killed. In total, 12 stop signs were stolen, just the signs, the poles were left in place, and the spate of thefts was limited to almost a loop around the Ballinaclash and Rathdrum areas. The exact date of the thefts is unknown, but they believe that they happened sometime between Christmas and New Year. Local councillors only became aware of the problem after a member of the public alerted them to a missing sign in their area. The district engineer and municipal district staff were praised for their speedy response to the situation by getting new signs up and in place very quickly. The potential for a very serious accident was definitely there, as this junction has had a number of accidents on it in the past. The junction in question is between Avondale House and the R752 regional road, which connects Rathdrum and Arklow. It's important to note that this particular area around Avondale House does attract a lot of visitors and people that may not be familiar with the area, so it's very fortunate that the stop sign was reinstated at this particular junction in a very quick time. One of the local councillors described it as a particularly heinous crime, which I would agree with him. Whatever the person's motivation for taking the signs down may have been, I don't know whether it was to resell them or maybe get scrap metal value out of them, but whatever the reasons for it, it doesn't justify potentially causing an accident and killing somebody. The municipal district manager offered some insight into the broader issue of road sign theft in County Wicklow, noting that unfortunately this has happened in other districts as well. And while falling down this stolen road sign rabbit hole, I came across two other stories involving stolen road signs. One from February of 2023 about the stealing of stop and yield signs in County Mayo, with local councillors saying that motorists who weren't from the area could get killed as a result of the missing signs. And in another incident in Mayo, a village sign had been stolen for the third time. After a previous incident, the community had welded it, but it had still been taken down this time. And a story from back in 2013 where Cork County Council councillors were talking about the possibility of them microchipping road signs to stop theft. They also floated the idea of possibly replacing metal signs with heavy-duty plastic ones which would have no scrap value. Among the signs stolen in County Cork in 2013 were some chevron warning signs erected as a safety measure after a young man lost his life in a traffic accident in the Glanmire area. Councillors suggested that the county manager should write to scrap merchants asking them not to accept road signs, and he further suggested that the council should use covert CCTV cameras to identify thieves. Around that time in 2013, up to 50 cast iron road signs and heritage signs had been stolen in the Kinsale area. So as you can see, the folks that are engaging in this sort of criminal activity are definitely degenerate, because they are in fact taking people's lives in their hands. And when it comes to things like old cast iron heritage signs, those are really hard to replace, and putting a replica in isn't the same. So not only are they taking the community's heritage, they're also potentially going to be taking lives from the community. Our next clip is a prime example of how not to act as a parent when your son is being arrested for DUI. Another quick tip is it's probably best not to show up intoxicated yourself. The incident occurred on the 27th of August 2023 and appeared to have taken place in Clovis, New Mexico. The unidentified male suspect, who was 19 years old, was initially pulled over by two police officers after they suspected he was intoxicated behind the wheel. Officers conducted a field sobriety test and the suspect started to curse at them and also kept picking up his phone to record and call his mother. As the test was conducted, the 19-year-old's mother, who appeared to be intoxicated herself, arrived at the scene and became irate after she was told her child was going to be arrested. As the video begins, we're with an officer who has showed up to assist the sergeant here, and he's speaking with the young man's mother. Now, there is a bit more to this clip than what we're going to feature here in this video, but I decided to cut straight to the action because the first part of it is basically the officer going through the field sobriety test and the suspect becoming a bit agitated with him. You know, the usual scenario where the officer's giving clear and concise instructions about what he wants the suspect to do, but they're pretending like they don't know what he's talking about, probably in a bid to make out that the officer's being unreasonable. As I mentioned, the suspect's mother then shows up into the mix, and that's where our clip picks up, where the mother is speaking to an officer that has shown up to assist the sergeant, and things go from zero to crazy really quick.
So I don't know where this is coming from that you think that we're going to beat you up. Nobody's even yelled at you or anything. If you listen to him, he's the one with the cussing and everything else. But so right now he's being arrested for DUI. We're going to let you have the car, okay? That way you don't have to pay a toll bill.
No, please don't do this, man, please.
We already did.
By the way, this lady is slurring her words, and by her conduct later on in the video, I'm pretty sure that she is intoxicated herself. So I'm wondering, are the police just going to release the car to her but make her park it up and walk home? Because I doubt that they're going to let her drive in that condition. Or perhaps they'll let her have somebody that's sober come along to the scene and pick up the car for her. I'm making an assumption here and saying that probably the car is hers and the son has just borrowed it. So maybe that's why the officer is deciding to be cool with her, as she didn't create the situation, so that way she won't have to pay any fees, plus have to deal with the headache of getting her vehicle back. But of course, I'm just surmising here, and I'd like to know what you guys think, so let me know down below in the comments.
Okay?
Please.
We've already had it.
Hey! Hey! No, don't you hit my kid!
I don't give a
Tell her not to leave that, not to touch that officer.
Quit! Stop! You better quit! Hey!
What the f is wrong with you?
You touched the other officer, you attacked him. You want to get charged with battery on a police officer?
Calm down, guys. Shit on my purse. What's wrong with you? Look, a considerate officer. What the f***'s your problem, man?
You don't touch him.
I didn't hit him.
You jumped on his back.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Don't touch my kid. Don't touch my f***ing kid. You guys is the problem.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Don't touch my kid.
Okay, whatever.
I know emotions are running high here because at the end of the day that is her son, but there's no need to be behaving the way she is. It's literally not going to help her son, and it's definitely not going to help her. She definitely tried to intervene and prevent the officer from doing his job, so at the very least they could have her for obstruction. And worst case scenario for her, she could be done for assault. The offence is already being committed, and your son's going to have to be a big boy now and face the consequences of his actions. And in my opinion, I don't think he had any intention of doing that, seeing as when this was all going down, all he wanted to do was call his mother down there. I don't think that shows a very good level of maturity there. It's not the principal in the schoolyard telling you off for pushing another child. It's not the same thing. Your mother has no sway in getting you off with a DUI. And I wonder if she is one of those parents that will say no matter what, oh, my son wouldn't do anything wrong, as if he was a little angel. Luckily the police got this guy pulled over and stopped before he did any harm to any unsuspecting members of the public.
You, eh?
Who?
You! You!
Keep it up!
Nah. Hey, where's my stuff?
What stuff did you lose?
I don't know what else I don't know. Ask this one hitting a girl. Who hits a girl?
I didn't hit you.
Problem?
I didn't hit you.
What's your problem?
I didn't hit you.
You, eh?
Your problem is you're drunk.
You. Who cares if I'm drunk? I don't give a f***.
Well, that's blatantly obvious. I hope when this lady sees the footage of this interaction with the police that she's embarrassed for herself, because she should be. And we're not letting the son off the hook here because it was his fault that we're in this situation at all, because he made the stupid decision to get behind the wheel while he was intoxicated. So you might as well say he also dragged his mother into this, so to speak. But at the end of the day, not an excuse as her behaviour either, because he should have some better self-control.
Don't come and hit him.
I didn't hit you.
Don't hit a bitch.
I pulled you off of his back.
You're a
Oh, okay. Whatever.
you, eh?
Oh, yeah.
What? Okay, hold on. Let me put on my shoes.
Put your shoes on.
We can do it if you want. We can do whatever the you want. But don't fucking hit her.
didn't hit you.
Problem?
Listen.
You guys don't hit my kid. What's your
Didn't hit your kid.
Where you did?
Hey.
You did hit my kid.
Ma'am,
You
to me.
You right?
Listen.
You.
Don't square off on me.
What are you? Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Come on. Come on, here. Come here. You hold my purse.
The decisions here are going from stupid to absolutely brain dead. Oh, certainly, ma'am, I'll hold your purse while you attack my colleague. I think at this stage, for everybody's sake and the public at large's sake, I think this lady would benefit from a night in the cells. You can't be allowed to start grabbing onto an officer when he's trying to make an arrest, regardless of whether it's a family member or not. And another thing you definitely shouldn't be doing is challenging an officer to a fight. This lady really needs to learn that there are consequences to her actions, and that can go the same way for her son.
Get it with him. Get it with him.
Are you willing?
Let's go. Let's go.
Ma'am,
What?
are you willing to go over here and talk to me?
I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Peter.
Hey, let me explain to you what's
The
going on.
What? Who are you?
I didn't even hit you. Pulled you off of him. Go talk to the sergeant.
Don't you ever.
Okay. Talk to the sergeant.
It's great in that situation not being the higher up, because he can say, go talk to the sergeant. I bet in some situations when police officers come across difficult people, they're probably hoping that they ask for a supervisor. It gives the initial officer that was dealing with it a bit of a reprieve. Eventually more officers showed up on the scene here, and the son and the mother were taken to a police car. The mother was charged with 4th degree assault on a police officer and resisting, evading or obstructing an officer. Her son was charged with aggravated intoxication, resisting, eluding or obstructing an officer and improper equipment. The woman's charge against the officer was dismissed, and her charges of assault and resisting an officer were amended. Cases with both suspects are ongoing, but it's unclear at this point whether they'll serve any jail time. I'd be interested to know what all you guys thought of this incident, so please do let me know down below in the comments. And if you've been enjoying the video up to this point, please do drop us a like, as it does really help the channel out and it is very much thoroughly appreciated. A story that caught my eye recently was a case of food theft which has rocked the Copmar Food Marketing Company, which is a part of the Fishing Business Group of the Ministry of Food Industry in Cuba. The theft affected the distribution of 133 tons of chicken, which was meant for the basic family basket, which is the government's rationing of food in Cuba. The police investigation is currently still ongoing, but they're working on some definite lines of inquiry. A report on Cuban television revealed that the police discovered the theft of 1,660 boxes of chicken in the Havana area. The general director of the company, Rigoberto Mustelir Sandoval, stated that this amount of food could be the family basket of a medium-sized province. Lieutenant Colonel Rafael Galera Serrera from the Ministry of the Interior explained that there were workers involved to change the official seals for false ones that they brought from the streets with the help of meat processing plant workers. According to television reports, among the alleged perpetrators of the theft are shift managers, technologists, custodians and unemployed people who did not work for the company. The Ministry for the Interior reported that there are 30 defendants, 11 of them in preventative detention. The accused could receive sentences of up to 20 years in prisons for crimes such as embezzlement, bribery and failure to protect state assets. In 8 home searches, the police found items that were supposedly purchased with the money obtained from that sale, including computers, air conditioners, televisions and refrigerators, as well as several million pesos and an undisclosed amount of dollars. Reports indicate that the company's CEO and senior officials were dismissed over the case. Due to this corruption, hundreds of thousands of families were left without food. This case has raised concerns about the security of the food supply in Cuba and the potential impact on the population. I can imagine it's tough enough to live under a regime like that where your daily food that you depend on is being rationed. And even more so when greedy individuals like that take food out of your family's mouth in order to enrich themselves. And it's very sad to say that I think if they've uncovered this little operation here, then there's probably others also. Let's just hope a handle can be got on the situation before more families suffer. As long-time viewers of the channel will know that we're never one to shy away from seizing the opportunity to get in and out pun here and there. And when I seen this story in the news, it was just ripe for the taking. But alas, it seems like the maritime executive have beaten me to it. Yes, this is the story of a molasses tanker that got itself into a bit of a sticky situation recently. The Zapadny, a small tanker designed to transport molasses, found itself yet again in a difficult situation as it grounded itself for the second time on its regular runs into the port of Sillet in Cumbria, northwest England. The vessel has a history of problems but appears to have escaped serious issues as they were able to refloat the ship again on high tide. The Coast Guard received reports that the Zapadny, a 3,300 deadweight ton tanker, had gone aground around midday on Saturday, February 10th as it was inbound for Sillet. The local lifeboat crew also responded to ensure that there was no danger, with reports that the vessel was sitting high on the mud as the tide went out. Luckily, however, the crew was uninjured and there were no reports of any damage. Crews and divers could be seen inspecting the hull in pictures taken by local residents. Built in 1988, the vessel is 256 feet long or 78 meters and it's registered in Belize. The vessel is owned and managed from Odessa in Ukraine, although it has been operating under charter to a company in Germany. It was coming from Germany when they apparently misjudged the harbour entrance and found themselves stuck in the mud. It was the second time in nearly 8 years that the vessel went aground, largely in the same place. Inbound in April 2016, it also grounded. As with this weekend's incident, they were able to refloat the vessel on the high tide. The ship, on the other hand, however, has a long history of deficiencies in its port safe inspections. In October, it was cited in the Netherlands for safety issues, including the gyro compass was listed as not readable. In April 2023, while at Felixstowe in the UK, the MCA detained the vessel on issues of fire safety, including doors and dampers. The most serious incident in her career appears to have come in 2011 when the tanker sustained significant damage when it collided with a floating pier in Germany. Pictures show a large gash in the hull, and taken on water they grounded the ship. It was however repaired and later resumed service. Plenty of stuff to unpack here with this story, whether it be the deficiencies with the vessel itself, or maybe crew incompetency, or perhaps a build-up of silt and sand outside the harbour entrance. There seems to be no indication on whether there's going to be an investigation into this incident, so I don't know if we'll find any more information out about what went wrong here. But according to what this report says, the crew misjudged the harbour entrance, so it may be down to crew deficiencies. So that's definitely something that the company needs to internally look into for sure. As for the vessel herself, at 35 years old, she's surely showing her age and maybe a complete overhaul is necessary. But obviously to undertake work like that, it's going to cost a vast amount of money, and also you're going to have to take the ship out of service for a period of time. It seems that up to now the company has perhaps been putting a band-aid on all the issues and hoping for the best. I suppose with an old ship, like an old car, it's like a game of whack-a-mole. Once you sort one issue, something else will rear its head. And the list of problems with the ship has been increasing in recent times, so I think they've been very fortunate that nothing has gone badly wrong so far. But the reality is, if they don't address the issues that they're facing, then their luck is eventually going to run out sometime. Well guys, that just about wraps things up for our very first episode of Degenerates of the Week. I thank you very much for joining me. And if you'd like to see this series continue, please do let me know by dropping a like down below and leaving me a comment, and I'll try to get back to as many people as I possibly can. If you want to show the channel some love and support what we do here, please check out some of the links down below in the description, or hit the little heart button down below this video to send us a super thanks. As always, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my channel members. Thank you very much guys for your continued support and encouragement. It is very much thoroughly appreciated. And also I'd like to give a big shout out to everybody just watching this with me on the premiere. Thank you very much for joining me guys. And I hope all of you will join me again next week for another installment of Degenerates of the Week. And also I'm hoping to be back before that with another video or possibly a live stream. Currently there are a couple of videos that I'm working on that are a bit more involved than my regular videos, and some of these are ones that I've been promising for quite some time now. But the issue that I've been having is because there's a lot more work involved in these videos, it's having a knock-on effect on getting some regular uploads put up onto the channel. So I've decided to work on these videos on an ongoing basis, and when I've completed them I will upload them as they're done. I'm hoping that that'll get things flowing a little bit better and make things a little bit more productive. So hopefully that makes sense, and with a bit of luck it'll all work out. So with all that being said, once again I thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back very soon with another video. I do hope you'll join me then. But if you haven't seen some of our other videos, why not check out one of the videos that should be appearing on screen now. Until next time guys, stay safe, take care, peace.